The Storm Prediction Center updated their outlooks at 9:01 UTC this morning, both of them, Sunday and Monday. And what they published confirms something I have been building toward in this series for 3 weeks. The Storm Prediction Center has increased severe weather probabilities to 30% for both Sunday, May 17th and Monday, May 18th, 2026, across parts of the plains and upper Midwest. Both outlooks confirm that all modes and hazards, including tornadoes, are likely on both days, making this a legitimate severe weather outbreak setup. The 30% severe risk core on Sunday is centered over Iowa, Nebraska, and northern Kansas, with a broader 15% zone covering Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Missouri, Oklahoma, and northern Texas. The 30% severe risk core on Monday shifts south, centering over Kansas, Nebraska, and northern Oklahoma, with the highest concern focused on the corridor between Kansas and Michigan. All modes, all hazards. Tornadoes likely on both days, back to back. And then I saw something else in the Cabarrus Weekly update from 17 hours ago that stops this video cold for a moment. Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and West Virginia face possible record heat with Columbus at 93 degrees, Charleston at 95 degrees, Cincinnati at 91 degrees, and Indianapolis at 90 degrees on Monday, May 18th. Record heat in Columbus, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Charleston. On the same day, the SPC has issued a 30% severe weather outbreak risk for Kansas, Nebraska, and Oklahoma. On the same day that tornadoes are likely in the Central Plains. The most extreme weather contrast in a single day that this country has experienced since, I had to look this up, the May 15th, 2025 event that killed 26 people. Today is Friday, May 15th, 2026. The storm is not coming, it is arriving. And it is truly insane. Before I describe Sunday and Monday in full detail, I need to tell you what is happening right now, today, because the opening act of this weekend's sequence is active as this video uploads. Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, and Wisconsin face damaging winds and very large hail near Omaha, Kansas City, and Des Moines as severe storms stretch from Texas to Wisconsin. Friday, May 15th, late afternoon and evening. Texas to Wisconsin. Today, late afternoon and evening. Damaging winds and very large hail near Omaha, Kansas City, and Des Moines. The same corridor that carries the 30% outbreak risk Sunday and Monday is already receiving the opening rounds of severe weather today. The atmospheric setup for today's Friday event is the beginning of the moisture surge that peaks Sunday and Monday. The Gulf moisture that has been building northward all week is arriving in the Texas to Kansas corridor today. The instability is building. The first discrete supercells of the weekend sequence are firing this afternoon. And the severity of today's event, what the SPC is describing as a very large hail and damaging winds near major cities from Omaha to Kansas City to Des Moines, is what this pattern has been capable of even on its pre-outbreak days. For anyone in the Omaha, Kansas City, Des Moines corridor today, this afternoon and evening are your severe weather window. Large hail is the primary concern. Get your vehicles under cover before 3 p.m. Have your shelter identified. And watch how quickly today's supercells develop, because the atmosphere has been preconditioned by the heat dome of this week and the returning Gulf moisture into exactly the kind of environment where storms go from nothing to severe within 30 minutes of initiation. Tomorrow is Saturday. May 16th carries its own alarming forecast that most people are overlooking because Sunday and Monday are dominating the conversation. Kansas and Nebraska face baseball-sized hail, a few tornadoes, and an isolated EF2 plus risk near Colby, McCook, Kearney, Hastings, and Lincoln as discrete supercells fire Saturday, May 16th, Colby, McCook, Kearney, Hastings, Lincoln. These are the west central Kansas and south central Nebraska communities that sit directly on the dry line for Saturday's supercell event. The isolated EF2 plus risk means the SPC is flagging Saturday's environment as capable of producing individual tornadoes that reach EF2 intensity or greater, 111 bombas or faster. Baseball-sized hail means 2 9-inch hailstones or larger. The same class of hail that dominated the Texas outbreak reports in April. The same class that produced the 4 5-inch stone in Johnson County, Texas. The same class approaching the 5 to 6-inch Kankakee event. Saturday is not a warm-up day. It is a significant, severe weather day in its own right, with an isolated but high-ceiling threat. The communities from Colby, Kansas, through Kearney and Hastings, Nebraska, need to treat Saturday afternoon with exactly the same urgency as any previous severe weather day this spring. And here is the atmospheric significance of Saturday for Sunday and Monday. Every supercell that fires Saturday afternoon and evening is testing the moisture and instability environment that will be even richer and deeper on Sunday. The storms that fire Saturday are revealing the cap strength, the moisture quality, the lapse rate values in real time. The SPC and independent meteorologists watching Saturday's storm development will use that real-world verification to sharpen Sunday's forecast to an unprecedented level of precision. Saturday is the atmospheric test drive that determines how the weekend's peak events are forecast. Now Sunday, the day with a 3,000 to 4,000 J. Hughes ML Cape forecast, the day with the potential 990 MB surface low over southwestern Kansas per the European model, the day that carries the 30% any severe probability centered over Iowa, Nebraska, and northern Kansas, the day that independent meteorologist Max Schuster described as having the highest ceiling for a severe weather outbreak. SPC Day 4. Outlook valid. Sunday, May 17th at noon through Monday, May 18th at noon. 30% severe risk core centered over Iowa, Nebraska, and northern Kansas. 15% severe risk zone covering a broader area including Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Missouri, Oklahoma, and northern Texas. All hazard modes, including tornadoes, are likely within the 30% zone. The 30% core centered over Iowa, Nebraska, and northern Kansas. Let me name the specific cities inside that core: Omaha, Nebraska; Lincoln, Nebraska; Des Moines, Iowa; Kansas City, Kansas, and Missouri; Topeka, Kansas; Wichita, Kansas on the southern edge. This is the geographic heart of what the SPC is calling a legitimate, severe weather outbreak setup. And the 15% surrounding zone adds Minneapolis-St. Paul, Minnesota; Madison and Milwaukee, Wisconsin; Chicago, Illinois; St. Louis, Missouri; Oklahoma City and Tulsa, Oklahoma; Dallas and Fort Worth, Texas on the far southern edge. The total geographic footprint of Sunday's threat covers approximately 50 million people in the combined 30% and 15% zones. The May 18-21-2013 multi-day severe weather sequence produced 1,967 severe weather reports in 11 days, including the May 20th, 2013 Moore, Oklahoma EF5 tornado. The first indications of a possible tornado outbreak came on May 13th, 2026, as weather forecast models began depicting a multi-day severe weather event across the central United States. I need to be careful here because the Wikipedia article about May 18th, 2013 confirms something that is directly applicable to the current forecast situation. The first indications of the 2013 multi-day outbreak came on May 13th, 5 days before the peak event. We are exactly in that same forecast window right now. The first indications of Sunday and Monday's outbreak came on May 13th and 14th. The same lead time, the same model convergence pattern, the same CPC language about significant pattern change. The May 18-21-2013 sequence killed dozens of people, produced the Moore, Oklahoma EF5, and generated 1,967 severe weather reports in its 11-day window. I'm not predicting a repeat of 2013 and 2026, but I'm pointing out that the atmospheric template, the 5-day lead time from first model indications to peak event, the negatively tilted upper trough, the Gulf moisture surge, the Central Plains focus, is the same template operating right now. Monday, May 18th carries the most complex and simultaneously alarming weather story of any single day in this entire series. Here is why. A severe weather outbreak is possible across a massive portion of the United States on Monday, May 18th, 2026, with the highest concern focused on the corridor between Kansas and Michigan. The severe weather outlook shows a 30% severe risk centered over Omaha, Kansas City, Wichita, and Des Moines, with discrete supercells and lines of thunderstorms both possible. This zone represents the greatest probability of strong tornadoes, very large hail, and damaging winds. The corridor between Kansas and Michigan, Omaha, Kansas City, Wichita, Des Moines, and extending northeastward toward Chicago and Michigan. And simultaneously, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and West Virginia face possible record heat, with Columbus at 93 degrees, Charleston at 95 degrees, Cincinnati at 91 degrees, and Indianapolis at 90 degrees on Monday, May 18th. Columbus, Ohio, 93 degrees. Charleston, West Virginia, 95 degrees. Cincinnati, 91 degrees. Indianapolis, 90 degrees. On the same day that tornadoes are likely in Kansas and Nebraska. On the same day that very large hail is possible from the plains through the Midwest. Record-challenging heat in Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and West Virginia, and violent storms targeting Kansas and Nebraska. This is the paradox of Monday, May 18th. It is simultaneously a record heat day for the Ohio Valley and an outbreak day for the Central Plains. The same ridge that is driving the record heat eastward into Ohio and Indiana is the warm sector that is feeding the Gulf moisture northward into the storm corridor. The same temperature contrast between the record 95-degree heat in Charleston and the 60-degree air behind the cold front over the Rockies is the temperature gradient that is maximizing the wind shear for Monday's negatively tilted trough outbreak. This is the truly insane part of the weekend story. Not just that there are violent storms, but that while one half of the country is breaking heat records, the other half is in a tornado outbreak at the same moment from the same atmospheric pattern. The May 15, 16, 2025 tornado outbreak produced 61 tornadoes and 26 fatalities. The event occurred as a negatively tilted trough moved into the upper Midwest. The lowest surface pressure was 984 HPA. The highest winds were 190 mph in Marion, Illinois. The largest hail was 50 inches, near La Center, Kentucky. The damage was $5, $9 billion. The May 15, 16, 2025 event, which occurred exactly 1 year before this coming weekend, featured a negatively tilted trough, a 984 MB surface low, 190 mph winds in Marion, Illinois, and $5, $9 billion in damage. It killed 26 people. Monday's forecast features a negatively tilted trough ejecting into the Central Plains, a potential 990 mm surface low per the European model, an outbreak possible language from the SPC. The structural DNA is identical. The geographic focus is slightly different. 2025 peaked in Illinois and Indiana, while 2026's Monday focus is Kansas, Nebraska, and the corridor toward Iowa and Michigan. But the atmospheric recipe is the same recipe. Let me name every major city inside or adjacent to the 30% core for Sunday and Monday, because these are not abstract geographic zones. They are communities with millions of people who need to be making specific preparations right now. Sunday's 30% core: Iowa, Nebraska, northern Kansas, Omaha, Nebraska, metro population 975,000 stars. Lincoln, Nebraska, population 295,000. Des Moines, Iowa, metro population 700,000. Kansas City, Kansas, and Missouri, metro population 2 million. Topeka, Kansas, population 125,000. Wichita, Kansas, metro population 650,000, southern edge. Sunday's 15% zone, broader Midwest and Plains, Minneapolis-St. Paul, Minnesota, metro population 3. 7 million Madison and Milwaukee, Wisconsin, combined metro over 2 million Chicago, Illinois, metro population 9. 5 million Springfield and Peoria, Illinois St. Louis, Missouri, metro population 2. 8 million Oklahoma City and Tulsa, Oklahoma Monday's 30% core. Kansas, Nebraska, northern Oklahoma. Wichita, Kansas, now in the core. Salina, Kansas Hutchinson, Kansas McCook, and North Platte. Nebraska, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Metro population 1. 4 million for northern edge. 4. The combination of discrete supercells and organized lines of storms means multiple hazard types could occur simultaneously across the same areas. Multiple hazard types simultaneously. A supercell producing a violent tornado in western Kansas, while 40 miles to its east, a squall line is producing 80 millivector per straight line winds. A hail core depositing 3-inch stones on a highway while a mesocyclone is rotating overhead, preparing to drop a tornado. The simultaneous nature of the hazards in a high ceiling outbreak environment means that situational awareness is not just about watching for tornadoes. It is about simultaneously monitoring for hail, wind, flooding rainfall, and tornadoes, all from the same storm system at the same time. I have described the zero high-risk situation in multiple previous videos. Today, with both Sunday and Monday at 30%, and with SPC's own outbreak likely language in the day 4-8. The question of whether the first high risk of 2026 will be issued this weekend is no longer rhetorical. A 30% any severe probability on a day 4 outlook has historically been an early signal for events that subsequently receive moderate risk or high risk designations on the day 1 outlook. The upgrade trajectory for both Sunday and Monday has been predictability too low, 15%, 30% in approximately 48 hours, if that trajectory continues. If Sunday's models continue converging toward the 3,000 to 4,000 J Caligabus environment with the 990 MBAO European model surface low. The day 2 and day 1 outlooks for Sunday could potentially carry moderate or even high risk designations. During the May 15-16, 2025 event, the Storm Prediction Center issued a moderate risk of severe weather for portions of Arkansas and Tennessee on May 15th, expanding to a broader area on May 16th as the negatively tilted trough made landfall. The Marion, Illinois EF4 with 190 mph winds occurred in the moderate risk area. Moderate risk in 2025. The year before this one, same negatively tilted trough. Same May timing, same central U.S. geography, 190 mph winds in Illinois. And the 2025 event did not receive a high-risk designation. It was a moderate risk event. A moderate risk produced 61 tornadoes, 26 deaths, and $5, $9 billion in damage. The first high-risk day of 2026, if it arrives, requires a level of confidence that exceeds what justified a moderate risk for the 2025 event. The 990 MB surface low signal, the 3000 to 4000 J Killeen ML Cape, the negatively tilted trough, the broad low-level jet, all of those are present in Sunday and Monday's forecast. Whether they arrive with sufficient geographic precision and confidence for a high-risk call is something only the SPC can assess in the day one outlook window. What I can tell you is this: the conditions for a high risk are assembling. They have never been this close to the threshold in the entire 2026 season, and the May 1926 window, the most historically active week in American records, begins the day after Monday's event, 3 days until Sunday's outbreak window opens. Here's the specific preparation guide for every community in the threat corridor. Today, Friday, May 15th. Immediate. If you're in Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, or Wisconsin today, severe storms are developing this afternoon, stretching from Texas to Wisconsin. Very large hail and damaging winds near Omaha, Kansas City, and Des Moines are the primary threats today. Get vehicles under cover before 3 p.m. Watch radar through this evening. Saturday, May 16th. Discrete supercell day. Kansas and Nebraska face baseball-sized hail, a few tornadoes, and an isolated EF2+ risk near Colby, McCook, Kearney, Hastings, and Lincoln as discrete supercells fire Saturday, May 16th. If you are in western Kansas or south-central Nebraska, Saturday is a severe weather day. Have your shelter identified. Keep your vehicle under cover or in a garage. Watch for tornado warnings issued with CIG2 indicators. Those flag EF2 or stronger tornado potential. Sunday, May 17th, the 30% outbreak day. Your shelter needs to be confirmed before Sunday noon. Not Sunday afternoon when the first supercells are on radar, before noon. The outdoor temperature will feel warm and spring-like before the storms fire, the same deceptive pre-storm warmth that has preceded every major outbreak this spring. Do not let the pleasant morning mislead you about the afternoon. Have your overnight alerts active before Sunday evening. Sunday's threat extends into Sunday night. The nocturnal low-level jet that strengthens after sunset transforms Sunday's discrete supercells into an organized squall line. That squall line will be racing through Missouri and Iowa after dark. Monday, May 18th. Record heat and outbreak simultaneously. If you are in Ohio, Indiana, or West Virginia. For the record heat, do not underestimate heat illness risk on a day with near or at record temperatures. Heat index values in the 95 to 100 range are possible in the Ohio Valley. Outdoor workers, elderly residents, and anyone without air conditioning face genuine heat emergency risk. If you are in Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, or Michigan for the outbreak, Monday has the negatively tilted trough and the dry line over west central Kansas and southeast Nebraska. The dangerous window opens Monday afternoon and extends overnight. Same shelter plan, same overnight alerts, same be in your shelter before the warning drops imperative. Here's where we stand, Friday, May 15th, 2026. The Storm Prediction Center has increased severe weather probabilities to 30% for both Sunday, May 17th and Monday, May 18th, 2026. All modes and hazards, including tornadoes, are likely on both days, making this a legitimate severe weather outbreak setup. Friday, severe storms stretching Texas to Wisconsin, very large hail and damaging winds near Omaha, Kansas City, and Des Moines today. Saturday, baseball-sized hail, a few tornadoes, isolated EF2+ risk near Colby, Kearney, Hastings, and Lincoln as discrete supercells fire across Kansas and Nebraska. Sunday, 30% outbreak risk centered over Iowa, Nebraska, and northern Kansas, with a 15% zone covering the full corridor from Texas and Oklahoma northeastward to Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Chicago. All hazards likely. 3,000 to 4,000 J Killeen MLKP possible. 40 to 50 knot low-level jet. 990 MB surface low per European model. Severe weather outbreak confirmed possible. Monday, 30% outbreak risk shifting south to Kansas, Nebraska, and northern Oklahoma. Negatively tilted upper trough ejecting into the central plains. The same atmospheric signature as the May 2025 event that produced 190 mph winds in Illinois and killed 26 people. Simultaneously, record-challenging heat of 93 to 95 degrees in Columbus, Cincinnati, Charleston, and Indianapolis. The most extreme same-day weather contrast in a single country since the most violent May outbreaks of recent memory. Tuesday, May 19th. The May 19th, 26 window opens. The most historically active severe weather week in American records. Behind everything that is already confirmed for this weekend, from the tornadoes of 2026. Wikipedia page, the 2026 tornado season is off to a fast, violent, and heartbreaking start. Fast, violent, heartbreaking. And this weekend may be the most violent chapter yet. Know your shelter. Keep your overnight alerts active every night from tonight through Monday. Tell your family what to do when the warning drops, and understand that after this weekend, the May 19th to 26th window arrives. The biggest storm of May is insane, and it is here. Stay safe. This is the most important weather weekend of the entire 2026 season so far. Do not take it lightly.